Hello and welcome to the Nines, brought to you by AT&T. I'm Shyway, the host, joined by Penguin and Eco, and we're going to find out a little bit about these boys and their road to HCS Raleigh before they get there. Of course, I know you guys have been busy grinding, so first let me just say welcome. Happy to have you on the show. Penguin, I think I might have had to pull you out of a game of Halo Infinite to get you on here in the first place. I know you guys have been so busy. So how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've been trying to play as many games like whenever I can. Like even if I have something else to do, like if I can fit 2 games in, I'll hop on for 2 games like every time.
Is that even beneficial though? If you're kind of like, is that all your focus that you can dedicate to? Because I find if I just play like a game and I'm kind of half here, half doing something else, I don't know if I'm really learning.
Well,
You still get the reps?
so like in my mind, like it's constant like visualization training. So like I'm thinking about things to be doing all the time. So those 2 games
Uh-huh.
are productive because I can I think about it and then I go try it out for a couple games and it's like I've already like
Okay.
done it in my head a bunch. So like yeah, it
Wow.
translates. It definitely translates.
So you never turn it off, is what you're saying. It's always the brain
Oh,
is always on.
It, it
You're
never
on.
turns off. Like
Yeah.
it's Halo's like this complex like problem that needs to be solved, but it's constantly changing. So you're constantly trying to
Right.
solve this thing. So
Damn. All right. Well, it's about to be one hell of a discussion just from the feels off of that. Eco, do you relate to this, by the way? How you doing? And do you find like it never turns off? You always kind of got Halo on the mind.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. Yeah, like Zane was saying, you asked if it was like beneficial, to get those like 1 or 2 games in.
Right.
With the game being so new, um, yeah, the answer is definitely yes. Usually people are figuring things out every day. I think we're on like week 3 of the game now, and I remember the first 2 weeks, specifically the first week, like every time I try to go to sleep, I would just see like you know, I guess I'll say I would see recharge. It's a map in Halo Infinite, and I'd close my eyes and all I could see was recharge. It was
Wow.
so yeah. Halo is right now, preparing for Raleigh. Like it's kind of all I think we're all thinking about.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of how it has to be. Do you ever get to the point where you can hear Halo noises randomly, like a shield recharge? Have you ever had that, or is that just me?
Uh, no, I don't think I'm necessarily like that. I mean,
No.
never,
I've heard all
You
the
never hear
Halo.
never,
anything?
I've never like hallucinated the Halo
Nah, you're
sound
good.
or
You're
like
good.
thought
Don't
about
All
don't
it.
right. I
worry.
Yeah,
just
But
have the
yeah.
problem, clearly.
I
Yeah.
daydream about like gameplay for sure, but
Okay.
not necessarily the sounds of it. More so like what's
Okay.
actually like happening in the game.
When you daydream about gameplay, are you thinking about a play that you want to hit or like a strategy or something? Is that like you're imagining yourself like no scoping, connecting? Like what does that look like?
Some of it's yeah, definitely just hitting like the basic shots or whatever. But it's mostly just like the like where did we like mess up and like how do we solve that problem
Right.
of messing up.
Yeah.
And that's probably a huge part of the improvement, the process, right? Is thinking back to those moments that you had, and we will talk about them because there were a couple tough moments you guys had with the qualifiers, and just how do you overcome that? I'm sure it's more than just a conversation post game. It's constantly on your mind, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But going back to like the first week, how I was like, going to sleep, I could only see like recharge. But I mean, going to sleep and just throughout like my day, even when I'm playing or if I wasn't, like I'm just thinking about like strats, like because the game's so new. It's like what can we do? Like what can we come up with, just strategy
Mhm.
wise that no one's doing, or yeah, just like nerdy little things like that.
Right. Okay. I know you guys don't want to reveal the secrets, so there's only so much I can ask strategy wise. Let's just start from the beginning though, with the game kind of coming out, because I know you've been grinding Halo 5 for 6 years to get to this point. First of all, are you kind of over with Halo 5? You're glad that we're on to Infinite, and then Infinite kind of hit us by surprise as well. So were you ready when that happened? Penguin, I guess I'll start with you there. With the yeah, go from H5 to just being surprised by Infinite.
Yeah, Halo Infinite releasing a month early was a surprise, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I mean, it got delayed a whole year, so we've been waiting for it for so long that it wasn't even a big deal that it got released a month early. I think we were all ready to like move on to something new. My favorite thing is just like since it's fresh, everyone's constantly like learning and trying to
Right.
evolve and whatever. And like I just love like running around the map, like seeing what other people do, like seeing how I can incorporate that into my own gameplay. Because Halo 5 was out for so long, a lot of that stuff got kind of stale and that's
Mhm.
like one of my favorite things about like gameplay is learning. Like if you're not learning, like you are not gonna continue to improve. So you got to fall in love with learning. That's definitely how I feel.
What would you say is one of the biggest new things that you've learned from Infinite? You got one on the top of your head.
Like so, I guess I learned that it's like a different. It's its own thing. So that's like the most important thing I
Right.
think people need to take away from it because like obviously there are things that are universal throughout every Halo game. Like there are things that apply to Halo 1, 2, 3 through 5
Mm,
to now, even in Infinite. But I think what people need to realize is it's not Halo 5 and it's not Halo 3. So
mm.
you kind of got to play it in its own way and like respect that it's a new game. I think that's like the most important thing I've learned is like it's everything's like everything like you got to try everything. I guess
Right,
is what I'm saying. Like you can't
right.
limit yourself to like a previous knowledge scope.
An open-mindedness. Is that kinda how you approach it too, Eco?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like definitely the perfect answer, and probably the reason, like, being open-minded, and
Yeah,
that's probably like a reason that like people excel in like new Halo games, or like or don't excel in new Halo games, because like before this, like you know like you said, Halo 5 is out for so long.
right.
Definitely like glad Infinite's out. I loved Halo 5, but before this, like I was playing Halo 5, I was playing everything from Halo 2 to Halo 5.
Mhm.
Just because they all have different nuances and different like things about them that like you need to I guess kind of master.
Right.
And that's the cool thing about Halo. Like you said, like you guys said, you need to be like open-minded, and that's how we're trying to approach Infinite. And but like the philosophy of like Halo and 4v4, it always kind of stays the same.
Mhm.
um but yeah, I mean, like, once again, being open-minded, like, we're scrimming, like, we're trying, Halo 5 play styles, like, being super aggressive. That's not like a secret, like,
Right.
or like playing super standard. Like, there's a time and place for like all different Halo philosophies to be used in situations in the game. And yeah, I mean, we're just all trying to figure that out right now.
Yeah, it's really cool to bring that up though, because I feel like Halo is kind of notoriously divided in that way where every Halo game has the baseline kind of similarity to it, but there's so many differences and nuances within the games that you become so passionately connected to one game and you stay there. You have no ability to kind of see or appreciate other games in their own unique aspects. So like you said, you got to have that kind of fluid, open-minded approach, and I think that's the biggest reason why you guys excel, or one of the big reasons. I'm sure there's many reasons, but Infinite, the beauty of that is it's this weird middle ground, right? Like you said, sometimes you try the Halo 5 styles, try more of a classic Halo approach as well, and see what works depending on the situation. And having that knowledge from the games is what gives you the edge, I guess, coming into it. That said, and I'll start with you, Eco. Do you think that they nailed it? Like, is Halo back this time as far as the competitive settings? We got BR starts, we've got no radar, we've got a couple of different things. We got equipment in play too. What do you think of these new settings and the BR starts?
Did Halo nail it?
Did they nail it? Is it back?
I mean, I would definitely say Halo is back.
Right.
I guess there's things that could be changed, or like modified, like nerfed, or like balanced more.
Mhm.
Well, which is like obvious, as like the game
Sure.
evolves, like stuff changes. But because I guess so, right? Like, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun. Like I said, there's things that I don't like. But it's not like I just like hate them necessarily.
Mhm.
But I feel like if you ask like the world that like this question, right, they would probably lean pretty close to yes, because I mean, everyone loves battle rifles.
Right.
And yeah, battle rifle in hand, just that gunplay, like that's what people want. I mean, equipment, like people probably, if would have told them about that there would be equipment in Infinite, like they probably wouldn't have like, they might have been a little skeptical, but it's seeming to play out like perfectly fine, honestly. Like I said, some things
Mhm.
probably could be like modified a little bit, but I mean, so I mean, I guess yeah, Halo's back. And I guess in short answer,
Yeah, I guess.
I I
Halo's
mean, I'll
back.
always love Halo, so
Hell yeah, I know.
I'm biased towards that answer, so yeah.
Right. That's the thing is we don't go anywhere regardless,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah.
Thankfully, it does seem like the community is enjoying it for the most part, so we can kinda that's even a bonus on top of it. Penguin, what do you think? And I'll kinda zero in because I think one of the biggest new things with Infinite is the equipment story, but equipment as exciting as it is to the casual viewer, having too much of that can kind of be, harmful, I think, for competitive play. You got a grapple, you got a repulsor, thrust. Do you think they're in, like, a sweet spot with it currently, or they need some improvement? What do you think?
No, I think they actually did a pretty dang good job on like trying to balance like competitive versus casual playlists, but also
Mhm.
incorporating like everything still into the competitive side. So like, notoriously in the past, like Halo 3, like they take out equipment completely in
Yeah.
competitive, but like with this game, I think I like what they did. They kind of still have all the equipment, but reduced the usage of it. So it's not just like you're sitting there like camping and just abusing it over and over and over. You kind of get those 1 or 2 plays out of it, and then it's like expired. So as far as
Right.
like all that goes, I feel like they did do a good job. I guess the word I would use is like utility. Like I feel like they actually kind of thought about what everything does on the map and like tried to give it a role. Like Halo 3, like you have things that have a role. Like the assault rifle, you can't just assault rifle someone across the map. You got to use the
Right.
battle rifle for that. But you can use the assault rifle to get a quick melee. I feel like that's kind of the route they went. Like things have their use cases, and it's not just completely broken. I
Yeah.
don't think that it's perfect, but I think it's like a really, really good base level start.
Okay.
Probably the best one. Well, definitely the best start. Like way better start than Halo 5 vanilla.
Right.
Anyways, I think they
Right.
definitely did a better job this time around.
Which is huge. And then at this point, it's just about mastering all those elements as well. Can you take advantage of all of them, use them to the best of their ability? As well, you have access to all of them as well. We're not sure how things will change over time. So, what does that look like exactly? So, the game comes out, you've got a week, and then all of a sudden, qualifiers are on the weekend. Not really much time to prepare, but do you snap into action? Like, what does that grind look like? How did you guys kind of come together and prep yourselves for the first weekend?
I
I guess I
mean,
no, I'll
y-
start out. I
okay,
think I
okay,
think what I think what we did like right off the bat, which I thought was like actually like really good, was
Okay.
like when we started playing, obviously, but like before the tournament and before every series, like we would actually go into the map and like sit there and talk about like what are we gonna do, like what do we want to hold, like
Cool.
how are we gonna approach this game type or whatever, just based on like previous Halo knowledge, I guess, and like still the game being so fresh and needing more repetitions in it, because like that qualifier happened really fast, but
Mm.
just like talking things over like with your team, and if you're like a competitor at any level and you're on a team, if you guys just have a base level idea of what you want to do on the map and what you want to be holding, like even if it's wrong, even if it's not the best setup, as long as you're like on board and doing it together, like it can be
Yeah.
very productive and end up winning you the game.
That's actually awesome insight, and just thinking about the fact that you get on the map together, you talk about it. There's obviously a lot of history between you two that I want to dive into a little bit too. But Eco, before, do you have anything to add, at least for that first question, just on that first week and the grind and what that looked like for you? And then I want to dive back in time a little bit.
yeah. I mean, like Zane, for us, and it's probably not too different from like a bunch of other like top teams.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, just grinding out the maps, just getting as many reps as we can in, and then just trying to be like we said previously, like open-minded and not
Yeah.
and just like thinking about the game in any way possible, because I mean it's just brand new. Um,
What would you say is like a
I
day
mean,
in the
yeah.
life of the grind? So like you wake up, is there like a schedule set? You guys have scrims in the evening? How's that planned out? Or is it
Well,
all over the place?
I think like a day in the life down like in a month or maybe after like Raleigh,
So you're
will
still figuring
probably
it out.
will
Yeah.
probably be more consistent.
Okay.
But like right now, like we're still like scrimming and whatnot. It's not. There's other teams that are definitely like on more of like a schedule because
Mhm.
that's probably like what works for them. But for us and like I'm myself at least, like I guess like maybe there's some things going on like in my life like that if I have to take care of that, then like it's hard to have like some sort of schedule. So like I'll stay up till like 7 a.m. or like
Wow.
yeah, we're just grinding. Basically, we're just like
Degenerate hours.
yeah,
Like,
we're just
Yeah,
like right
that's you
now,
might as
like
well
we
not
are
sleep. You just skip
complete
the
like degens right now, playing
Okay.
nonstop,
no, no, but
and
we're split. We're split though. So
we're
half of
very
us are
split. Yeah,
degens, and then half of us wake up at 9
Who's
a.m.
the DGen who's waking up on time?
Me and Stellar wake up by like 9 a.m. The degens are Eco and Renegade.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
not
And then
surprised
somehow
Renegade's
our
grinding.
coach Hoaxer, he's both. That guy stays up till
Oh,
6 a.m. Eastern and wakes up at like 9 a.m. Eastern. Like, what is wrong with you, Emmanuel?
I
Yeah.
don't know. That's kind
That's
of the beauty
crazy.
of him as a coach, though. That's some top tier coaching right there. If you can be awake at all the hours to communicate with your team, I don't know how he's doing
Dude,
it.
he is. He is. He's always awake at every hour. If you
Wow.
ever need anything, I swear, it's crazy.
Wow. Okay, shout out to Hoaxer. I wanted to kind of dive back though, because I know you guys go way back. Not well, you probably all of you go way back, but I know that Eco, of course, you had Splice previously with Halo 5. So you Renegade Stellar have been together years now, and then Penguin joined the fold years ago as well. Can you talk to me a bit about like when that came together? You must be very comfortable with each other, and I assume friends outside of the game, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll talk before Splice because or I guess I'll just talk about like me and Zane's relationship and then how everyone came together.
Sure.
So like the beginning of Halo 5, we're all on separate teams. I don't even know Zane. I obviously know like who Pznguin is, like or their gamer tags like Stellar or like Renegade, but I don't like
Yeah.
know them. And then in the beginning of Halo 5, like we're just playing, and then I play against Zane or whatever, and then we kind of had this like mutual like respect for each other in game that you could like feel like we would always like
Oh,
challenge each other, or I mean that's just kind of how it works like in gaming,
some
like
Halo
you're like,
romance
oh,
right here.
that guy's good, like,
Sure.
and that's it basically. And then I linked up with
Respect.
Braden, like he was like, I was a team of two with him before we linked up with Zane.
Mm.
And then yeah, me and Braden were on a team, and then we actually did like really bad in like this pro league season. And for some like somehow like I said, at this point I still hadn't talked to Zane like at all really. I don't think Braden like really had talked to you
Like
that much
never.
either. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then randomly Zane and his teammate were like, they randomly messaged us and saying like, yo, like we want you, like, are you guys down to team with us? And we're like, because I mean Zane was placing good, and we're like, sure, yeah. And then we're a team of three, and then
Mm.
we were good, and we were getting second, 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 second. We could never win, and like swapping out fourths and whatnot. And so like then that goes into splice where like we're
Right.
swapping out fourths. We tried to pick up a lot of people. People wouldn't want to join, and then it just kind of came down to like Renegade and Shotzi were like they wanted to join as like two, or like vice versa.
Mm.
And I mean, unfortunately, like that's just how it had to, like what had to happen, just because like we cycled through so many fourths and we still aren't winning. And yeah, that's just how it happened.
Wait, did you say unfortunately you picked up Shotzi and Renegade?
No, I'm saying
No, no,
unfortunately,
no.
like we had to
We
we
were
had
like a
to
team of we were like a team of three. We cycled
Oh,
out
yeah.
and you
fourths.
so
We
Zane, you
cycled
were
out
part of it
fourths.
originally.
Yes,
Okay.
we were part of Team
Yes.
Liquid. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
we
okay,
cycled
okay,
out
okay.
fourths, could never get like that dude that would
Right.
push us over the top, because people either like didn't want to join, or they were just like loyal to other players, which is like
Yeah.
fine because like people are team of twos, like whatever. So eventually it came to that point where like, okay, well, there aren't really any like amazing fourths, but
Right.
they got an offer from like an amazing team of two.
So
So
the
I
only
just
way
like
was to split.
I was
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was this story coming into it, right? So then it makes
Yeah.
sense that you came back around
Yeah,
and now
exactly.
it's a perfect harmony here, right?
And
Basically,
now,
yeah.
yes, and now we have that dude, that fourth renegade. So like,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
That dude.
Because I think that was like even
that
an
dude.
option back in the day, like on Liquid, because we were on Liquid, me, Zane, and Braden, and like we tried to get like, I mean, we like all those like superstars that you love and know, or
Mhm.
know and love, whatever. And then like
Sure.
we tried to ask Shotzi, but he like is loyal to his team, or he wants to team with Renegade, which is like kind of what happened. And then same thing with Renegade. Um, so yeah, I mean, because like on Liquid, if we could have picked up Renegade, like I mean, we would have done that, like team of three plus Renegade, like sure, we're gonna try that for sure. So that is what it is now, basically.
Yeah. Well, awesome that you came together. Talk to me a bit about Stellar and Renegade, by the way, and like what they bring to the table as teammates. Do you guys feel like you all have defined roles within a team? And Zane, I'll start with you.
I mean, I feel like the only like I don't know. I feel like the only player with like a defined role, I guess, would be John. Like
Mm.
his job is just like he wants to go own everyone and just kill everything, just slay everything on the map. I feel like
Right.
I feel like yeah, like we all have like a certain style we want to play, or like we have
Uh-huh.
things we excel at. But as far as like player with the specified
Just
role,
set
that's
me up.
Renegade. Yeah, that's John, and then the rest of us are kind of more like do it all, just trying to win the game of Halo.
If a sniper's on the map and anybody has access to it, is it Renegade who picks it up normally? Is that kind of how it goes? Or do you, I assume you can
Yeah,
all pop off? Yeah.
no, it's John. It's John. He
Do you
says,
fight
Give
over
me
it
the
ever?
ball.
Is
Give me
that
the ball and get out of the way." He said, "Let me
get out
take
the
this
way?
jumper." Like I'm
Yeah.
like, "All right, go for it, man."
Okay.
Which
All
probably
right.
isn't
Well,
a bad thing because he gets repetitions in with it. So
yeah. Yeah. So far, you guys have looked pretty damn deadly. You've had some pretty nail biting series. As a spectator, they've been very entertaining. For you guys, maybe a little heartbreaking for some of them. Just to go through the first two, though, right? Before we get in, there was qualifier one, qualifier two. You guys made it down to grand finals both times. The first one was a hell of a nail biter. You gave us a show, for the record, a hell of a show. You were on winter side grand finals, but Optic, they came back. They kind of upset the bracket. They managed to take it. What happens, I guess, after an experience like that? What goes through your mind? What's the mindset? How do you kind of talk about it and recoup after a loss like that, which is unfortunate?
I mean, yeah, I think step one in that, since like you said, it's new game, first week,
Sure.
you make to winter finals, like you're playing really well, like you think you're like, everything's going great, and then you just like basically like blow it, essentially. I mean, they played well, obviously, but
Yeah.
you know, there's like the reason why we lost, right? And then like we made mistakes, and I think the first thing you do is you just try not to lose like absolute full. Like you try not to just like you try not to you don't want to like forget about it, but you want to take away as many things as you can from it because at the end of the day, it's only the first week. It's a it's a qualifier tournament for another qualifier that is for another qualifier for
Right.
the actual tournament that's a LAN. So like it's important, but at the end of the day, like it's all good. Like
Right.
there's yeah, exactly. So I mean, I guess that's the biggest takeaway from it. I mean, we're just like it's just like a learning experience. I mean,
Mhm.
even if we would have won, that tournament, I mean, it's the first week. It's not like it's not
Yeah.
anything not to be proud of, but like personally, like I'm not gonna like we got second, and like I'm not thinking about those tournaments basically. Like even
Yeah.
if we would have won.
Zane, would that first grand final series be one of the ones that you're kind of replaying in your head on the toilet, after you're kind of going through the strategies? No.
No, no,
What could I have done better?
like definitely, and I mean, I like what Kevin said. You try not to lose full, and I do
Right.
think like obviously we lost, but we got to like figure out what we did wrong, but also take away the positives of what we did like well. Like you
Mhm.
definitely need both those things like moving forward. Like whatever you do good and whatever you do bad, like just take it all and like learn for the next time. And like
Yeah.
yeah, like it sucks, but I mean at the end of the day, I really like the energy on the team right now. Like we lost, that one, we lost the next one, and then we got like fifth in the last one. But I felt like
Yeah.
after that though, like we had some of the best conversation we've ever had about like trying to move forward and improve like as a unit or whatever, and what we did wrong and what we could do to better prepare for next time. Because I think we all
Yeah.
felt like we probably didn't do enough, especially in the last one. So
Yeah.
I think moving forward, it was probably like a good experience to like actually lose some of those qualifiers because like you got to lose before you win, and I think that was actually probably like a good thing for us,
Mhm.
honestly. Like moving forward, like definitely keeps us like locked in and focused and engaged. Like we're like okay, we definitely have things to work on, so let's work on them.
Damn. So talk about veteran mindset, by the way. I think this is the beauty of being together for so long too. I like how you said you like, like you like the energy on the team right now. What are the vibes? It's kind of that's the most important thing. The vibe check. Like, is there a feeling towards what like do you want? Are you like all kind of aligned in wanting to improve and knowing what the things are that you need to overcome, and wanting to get there. You're kind of motivated to get there. And I think that having that mindset, that's probably the biggest thing. You're hungry, and you're on the same page with each
Oh,
other.
oh
So
yeah, I want to touch on this. Like when we lost on like Thursday or whatever, I think
sure.
we sat dead silent. Like we all stayed in the Discord call. We sat dead silent for like 10 minutes in
Yeah,
like
we did.
seething rage. But but then like after that, it turns into like all right, like no none of us like want to lose. Like we all want to get on the same page and be on board and like try to
Yes.
like dominate, right? So
Yeah.
it was just kind of funny. Like it went from 10 minutes of seething rage silence to like us like calling each other out on all like the stuff we need to be calling each other out on and nobody taking it personally. Like it was actually really awesome
Yeah.
to see.
I don't know why I find it hard to imagine Renegade being completely silent in his rage.
Exactly.
Oh,
You
we
think he
were
would get loud or
no,
something?
Exactly,
nah, nobody
exactly.
said
Whoa,
a word.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
And that's
like
the beauty.
you got to cool
Go ahead.
off, so I like kind of let it
Right.
sit there. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the beauty of somebody like Renegade too, is like he'll bring so much heat to the game, but if he can channel it, you know what I mean? Like if he can control that and it's not affecting the team, then all it's doing is just adding to you guys. It's just a bonus. So it's really cool to hear that. And it sounds like you guys have the mindset kind of ideal locked in going into Raleigh, which is probably the most important thing. Before we kind of jump to that, this is kind of a sidebar thing, but it's something that I like to do because I'm a big kind of settings controller type of person. I know that, of course, Halo Infinite is very open, very accessible. You can play it on M and K. You can play it on controller. What are you guys rocking right now? I'm kind of curious. Like, what kind of controllers do you have? What are your settings? How do you play? And do you swear by it? Like, do you have any kind of reasoning behind that? If you got them on hand,
I guess
Ooh.
I'll go first. I
Yeah, you go
mean,
first.
I just use a default Xbox, not the newest controller, not
do you
the
have it on
X.
you? Can you like,
Yeah, I do.
let's go. This is maybe just for me.
Oh man, this is gonna be okay. I don't think it's too dirty, but
I feel
I
like my
use
controllers
this.
always look really
Wow,
clean.
just OG. That's the
Just a normal, I guess a Battle Beaver controller.
mm,
I guess I could show you the back. I mean, it's kind of gross. There's just like 2 buttons on the back, right? Yeah, so
Okay.
2 buttons on the back. Just a Battle Beaver controller. Like I said, not the newest one, not the Series X controller,
It's the
but
Xbox One S
yeah,
controller.
yeah,
1S.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just play bumper jumper. 2 buttons, one for sprint, one for equipment.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't claw unfortunately, so I still have to take my, uh,
I'm off for
hands,
the
thumb
yeah.
off of my aimer to like reload and like switch weapons. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What about you, Zane?
I play with the Scuff
Damn.
Prestige, and this is so they
Okay.
technically don't make these anymore, but
Yeah,
it's
that's an
my
old one.
it's the model before the one they currently have, but it's my personal favorite. So when they like discontinued this, I went on Amazon. I bought 3 of them. I had
Wow.
3 already. I went on eBay. Someone was like selling brand new scuff parts, so I bought a bunch of brand new parts. So I'm going to be using these for like years. But I have
Gee.
one paddle for jump, one paddle for ping. Actually, my assist rate in matchmaking has gone up exponentially from pinging things from my teammates. I'm not even
Wait, you
kidding.
get
Actually,
assists for pinging?
so
Wow.
like, well, like you get assist from pinging, but like they look at it
Oh,
even if
okay,
you don't have
okay.
call outs, like they actually go look at your like ping
Oh.
marker and they'll like kill the guy for you. It's
Oh,
like it's
damn.
amazing. But yeah, I swear by the Scuff Prestige. I think the new one they have is like okay, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. I just was very interested to see how you guys play. It's bumper jumper as well, right?
I play Recon.
Oh,
I play
recon. Okay,
Recon,
okay.
which is like default Halo 3. But I use one paddle for
Recon.
jump, so I don't have to move any of
Right.
my fingers when I'm in a battle. But like when I have to melee, I'll claw the B button. I shoot with my
Right.
middle finger. I'll claw the B button, switch weapons, sprint, all with my index
Okay.
finger.
All right, very cool. Something to take notes on. Everybody's got a different style, and yeah, I've got kind of a wild one myself. But we've got more to get to in this show. Before we do that, Raleigh's coming up in a few weeks. So just before we jump into our crucial moments, what does that grind look like? I guess between now and the 15th of December.
Let's see. Today is what, the 4th? I think the same. It's like what, like 10, like a little over 10, I guess 10, 11 days left.
Something like
I'm
that.
personally, I'll be playing. I think I got my flight. It's like a later flight. I think I leave at night to the event at like 7. So I mean, I'm gonna be playing up until then, like even that day of travel, and then I mean, yeah, it's just grinding. Like we said earlier, Zane said like getting games in whenever you can, however you can. Being as productive as possible. Getting with like being as productive as possible while getting like good sleep, good enough sleep. If that's the case, because like
Right.
yeah, and then like eating and just being as like optimal as you can to like actually learn something rather than just be on autopilot for 10 more days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I think it looks like, and this is something I asked Emmanuel to do or whatever. Like I want us to be on earlier in the day so that we're actually like
Mm,
awake. Because like when you go to the tournament, you can't be going to sleep at 8 a.m. like they
exactly.
had like my teammates have been or whatever. But I've been asking for as early as possible scrims. I think we're gonna start scrimming at like 11 a.m. But like I think that also looks like doing the same thing in scrims as we were doing for like the tournaments, which is like getting on beforehand, like well beforehand the scrim, and not just like
Mm,
warming up, but like literally like going into the maps and talking about what we want to be doing. So I think it's a lot more of that in scrims,
okay.
Like
honestly.
mentally warming up.
Yeah, mentally
Okay.
warming up.
And I think Penguin, you have a lot of EXP here. Didn't you do something to like change your sleep schedule or something? For the Red Bull event? You did something where you drank Red Bull
Oh,
to prep.
so for the Red Bull event, because I knew it was gonna be like a Red Bull sponsored event, what I did to prepare for that
Uh,
was I bought Red Bull and drank Red Bull every single day. So I'd be like
oh my
used
god.
to
Okay.
it, like ready to go. And I mean it worked. I was owning that event. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's just a
Whatever it
random
takes.
tidbit.
Whatever it
Yeah.
takes.
Whatever it takes. Glad to see you guys grinding and can't wait to see what that looks like at Raleigh. But before we go today, we've got a crucial moments segment that we're going to bring up, brought to you by AT&T. This is a cool way for us to see a little bit about what you guys have been putting together. I selected these, by the way. The first one that we're looking at here is I want to call like a perfectly coordinated flag run, and we'll just kind of let it play out. Do you guys remember this? This is 1-1 right now in the series up against Optic Gaming. This is grand finals, and you are Trippy dies here, and then you realize you've got 3 together that can rotate the flag. Renegades opposite side map. Just let me know if you remember this.
Do you remember this, Zane?
Oh, somehow like I don't even think we should have been in position to stop that flag, but somehow someone stopped it, and then we
Oh,
all.
wait, did I stop it? Is that what
I
I think?
forget. I think either
How
you or
did
me stopped it, but then like we got the recup somehow and like all pushed their
No,
base.
I
Like,
think I remember this. Maybe it's the same one. Like it's hard to
Mm.
like remember because
is
like
this where they? I think they like I think
No,
we
remember,
pulled a
I think
flag.
that's when Trippy ran the
Yes,
flag.
up
We
top.
all died, right? Trippy ran the flag, top like whatever people
Lightning,
call it,
top lightning.
lightning grenades, and he ran it through the tunnel. And then I spawned up in our base, and I had like, I have a perfect sight line. And I remember I called it. I was like, "This guy's messing up. This guy's messing up." And I just
Mm.
forwarded him in the back, and it was once the flag died and it was there, it was just in a like it was chalked for them. Like they weren't getting that flag.
Yeah. What I really liked about this was just how you guys coordinated the whole thing. Because a flag run from start to finish, there's like, taking advantage of your numbers efficiently to run that flag, but also being ready for this, the counter cap after. This is Ola front of your base. And I think what happens here is somebody gets a fridge spawn, Renegade spawns behind him, and he's a little too slow. Renegade melts him. You guys get all the kills, and you completely stop the opportunity for a counter pull. So the whole sequence was just like perfectly ran. And it's gonna replay. I think it's gonna reloop in just a second, so we can watch it again. Talk to me a bit about CTF, by the way, and just running the flag this time around, which has been a little bit different, and I think a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah, running. I mean, CTF kind of. I think it plays the most like classic Halo as far as
Okay.
game types go, because CTF always just kind of has. But as far as running the flag goes, it's low key more like an old school Halo. Like in Halo 5, you toss the flag so far that you thrust, slide, jump, like toss it.
Right.
In this game, you can kind of just juggle it the whole time while sprinting without even jumping. So it's like a weird
Mhm.
like muscle memory thing to overcome.
So this right here, by the way, so Stellar, he'll get this opening kill, and then I like how you guys coordinated this. You've got Renegade, I think, on the other perimeter, who's cutting off over extenders, which is typically what you want. You want one player who does that. Eco is already running the flag. He notices the Stellar's in trouble. He's like, "Screw it, I'm going to leave him. Keep up with the flag run." Penguin, I think you're top mid, and you're getting coverage on Eco. So, like, what are you guys thinking about this when it's happening? Is it just kind of muscle memory that you all put yourselves in the perfect positions off your spawns?
You have to
It's
control
hard.
the map when running
Yeah,
the
it's
flag.
hard to say. And the thing I was explaining was definitely it wasn't a different play, and it wasn't even this one. I think Zane stopped the flag somehow.
Mm,
You jumped up and just beat that guy down. But yeah, like Zane said, I mean, like at a high level, sometimes I mean, you can communicate in small talk about like where you are and where you are, and then your teammates can like say where they are, and then based off those plays, like everyone makes like plays that are basically just like correct.
mm,
And I mean, Braden was in the flag right there, and he died, and I realized, I guess I somehow like either was calmed or something. I realized that that guy was like really far out of the play, and
right.
with Halo Infinite's new when Halo Infinite's new flag system, like running system, you can sprint with the flag, and basically, I guess I knew you could gain enough distance from like
Mhm.
that enemy to be relevant to be killing me from like behind, and then when I ran the flag, like our um, closet and got it in there, I think Zane was top mid, and
Yep.
his Halo experience and playing at a high level for long enough, like he realizes like, all right, like my teammates running the flag there, like so there's probably no one on him because they didn't spawn on me because I'm there,
Mhm.
and he's just covering like the left side where the spawners are.
Looking
And
for
then, like,
overextenders.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Yeah, and that's what Renegade's doing also all while that's happening. So just great to see all that coordination in play. Let's see another clip from you guys. This should be another well-coordinated play. This is actually mostly you, Eco. From the end of this Stronghold game, you guys dominated completely in this game against Optic. This was game, I guess,
I
4.
remember this game.
Yeah, do you remember this? What would you say is kind of going through your mind here, Eco? Because you play this beautifully.
Let's see, it's 3-on-3. We somehow just got two kills. I'm trying to like remember slash think about it while I'm
Mhm.
watching it. I guess I see there's an enemy on, my teammate right there at C, and I stayed close to him because I stayed close to him B stairs because like that wasn't like a guaranteed kill for him. And if I run away from him and then as like he dies, then they're gonna get C, and then like I'm pinched super hard. So I clean up
Mhm.
that C kill, and then I just come over here to defend B while they're pushing up because I think they might have had numbers on that side. And I fortunately had thrust, and I was putting as many shots in as I could while like staying alive and keeping and not because that's like the worst thing you can do. Like honestly, maybe in Halo Infinite especially, like being alive on the map and just being a number that they have to worry about is really important because in
Yeah.
Halo you get your shields back, so doing damage and staying alive is like it's really important.
This Renegade rocket, by the way, unfortunate.
Yeah,
Uh,
rockets in Halo Infinite are really kind of interesting.
They are kinda weird. I also, he had an interesting double dilemma. He shot that player, saw him back down, knew there were players coming from a different location, so he tried to look there, didn't realize the guy would chow as quickly as he did, and then he kinda got caught up. He's gonna replay again. What would you guys say strongholds on this map, or how do you like the, strongholds in Infinite? First of all, it's kinda different, right? Like Halo 5, you had to, hold out the or sit in the cap the whole way through to start getting points. Now it's a little bit different. You can stop the timer instantly when you stand in it. You gotta make sure you're still standing in it to keep the timer halted, right? Or else, if it's partly capped and you leave, then they still get that time. What do you think of the changes? Zane, I'll go to you.
Um, I don't know. I understand like what they're going for and stuff. I guess it's just like it's not like Halo 5 Strongholds at all. Like in my mind,
Mm,
like it's actually just like so different, and there's so much more you can get away with. Like if you know like this stuff, and I think at first, like the first like week or two, like I just wasn't aware of it. And so like
yeah.
this is just us controlling the map. I think Kevin does a great job of like actually just holding what we have because we have such a big lead. Like we don't need to get risky. We don't need to necessarily push the
Right.
three cap all of a sudden. But yeah, no, I think it's I think the strongholds change is probably honestly like a good thing, especially for Infinite, since you don't have like as many open angles like Halo 5, and you don't have thrust slide to just
Mhm.
push the map like crazy.
This, sorry to cut you real quick. Sorry. This I like this route that you took though, Eco, going front like this, right? Instead of going driveway, you go right to front, and then you also have coverage on the rockets too. Is that something like, I guess, are you actively thinking about that?
Yeah, it's hard to say, honestly.
Yeah.
I just know that, if you go down that like little driveway, it's there's not really any angles right there, and my teammates were like on the opposite side of the map, or like purple or pink or whatever you want to call it, and
Mhm.
um, basically I knew I just needed to probably like jump in and like, because I was getting calls, that they're like front C, like on those
Yeah.
pillars and stuff. I actually do remember this though, like towards the beginning of the play, whenever like I killed the guy C, and then I went up driveway, and then I had thrust, and I like doubled back for a second, I think, to go,
Okay,
and
this
then
game I was screaming at people.
Zane said go to red
What?
room. Zane said, "Go to red room, go to red room,"
I,
and
I was
I
screaming at
immediately
everyone
I
what to do.
immediately thrusted to red room,
Uh,
and then I was in perfect position to shoot those 2 players in arcade, and then,
uh,
yeah, in the clip, if you watch it, like, you see me, like, putting shots, staying alive, and then Zane's pushing up, like, to the left of me, he's, like, pushing up, and, like, we're pinching those guys, and it
uh-huh.
was, like, really good teamwork, honestly.
Damn. Okay, well, really cool to see it all come together. I got one more play that we're gonna showcase. This one focuses more on Penguin, and, you might remember this moment because this was one
Oh,
of
this was
the most
tragic. I was so mad. I was so
most
mad,
tragic
dude.
and most hype moments,
I
so
was mad at my entire team. I was so
okay,
pissed
talk
off.
to me about what's going on here, because this
I was
has
mad
gotta
at
be
all of
such
you.
a frustrating, like, you're sitting here, you can't do much, you have very limited angles.
Well, I just have like no teammates over here on this side of the map. They're both like bottom
Mm,
middle. Like I have sniper. I don't know if I can't really push. I know Camo's about to be up in like 15 seconds, and
mhm.
I think I said like Camo's about to come up like 10 times, and we were just like so slow here. And like if anyone was like sitting around it or like sitting mid cut or something, like we would have definitely got kills.
Mhm.
So this goes back to like this game type. I don't think we got to go over it like as a team before this series, so we didn't really know how we wanted to play it, and I just felt like we were all on a solo mission, especially towards the end. We almost won this game based off just like pure raw Halo teamwork, honestly.
Mhm. This got so wild at the end here. What do you think of this, like, final play as well? I don't know how Renegade lived as long as he did too.
It was crazy.
It
It's
Yeah,
seemed
just tragic.
this right here, alright, so because this is the first tournament, right? First series in winners final or in the grand finals, and, they played great and we messed up. But I would honestly like chalk this like series up to like the play where Zane died, and then the play where I died at the very end. Like it's just like straight lack of playing the game, and like the game's been out for a week, and like we would never ever make these plays again. Because I pushed up and I was the 50th kill, and for
Mhm,
some reason I think I thought my teammate was like pinching them, or and I thought that they could see Renegade on, behind that, like, little power up, little, like, circle, or, like, whatever you wanna call it. I thought
mhm,
they could see him from, like, cause I was top mid, like, where that Mangler spawns and the nades, and I thought if I didn't go down there that they could get an angle on him, and that's not the case at all. So, like, I just died like an
Yeah.
idiot, honestly. And then yeah, what
Unfortunate.
Zane was saying, like Zane's here and like, you know,
What should you guys be
yeah,
doing as a team probably?
I
Like,
mean, we
Zane
should
probably
just be
needs
first of all, I mean, we
Getting
should be
towards
like
camo.
heading towards camo and at least
yeah.
staying in around our like sniper guy, like because snipers
Mhm.
usually isolate themselves. But like you don't want to be like literally isolated. Like, we need to be like staying close to him, like, because like he has a sniper. Like we need to value that. He has like he's like 6 shots, like,
Yeah.
and and like usually that's what the sniper does. Like, if they have a sniper and a power up's coming up, they literally look at just put their
Just
aimer on there
Overwatch. It's
because
Overwatch.
like
Right.
yeah, because that power up, like someone has to jump up, and when they're just in limbo when they jump up, and like Zane's
Mhm.
gonna hit that shot, and then as he had hit another guy like on these like this whole mid
I
cut
made two guys
area,
one shot and I got two shot,
and
but we
it's
just
just
we never
unfortunate
round
that
it.
yeah we
Mhm.
just were on the other side of the map doing something else because yeah.
Yeah. Once that does happen, do you think this approach is something that works well, though? I feel like Renegade coming up from low ground here, it must be such a difficult challenge. I don't know how he lived as long as he did, but,
Um, yeah,
like,
or
would you change lanes,
I
maybe
don't know.
go top instead
I
next
don't
time,
know. I
or
don't know if sitting behind the power up is like ideal. I don't think John like purposely like sit. I don't think
Yeah,
John knew that there were like 3 guys open field, and he's like,
right.
I'm gonna go sit behind here, because it's pretty
Mm,
vulnerable. I don't know if people. I don't know. People can like live pretty well behind that thing, so I don't think people. But like I said, I don't think people purposely put themselves on that in that situation.
mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Staying top mid's probably better though,
I think, yeah, if anything,
especially
your
with the
options seem
score.
pretty. Sorry?
Especially with the score being so, like, close, like, where you cannot die, or, like, the
Yeah.
game's over.
There's not too much you could do after this went down, you know what I mean? It's like if you're not there, they get the camo, so you
Yeah.
gotta kinda, push.
I think that's just one thing our team needs to do better. For some reason, like, not our whole team, but me and, like, I would say probably Braden, we don't, like, value power-ups. Like, we don't go for power-ups a lot. Like, there's
Mm,
players that go for power-ups more than everyone else, and, like,
yeah,
I'm definitely not one of those players, and we should have just been valuing this camo. I mean, that's it really. We should just been valuing it for what it is, like, you're literally invisible.
right.
Yeah, and I think it
Uh
just goes back to having a game plan. We didn't really
Yeah.
have a game plan for
mhm.
this map at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. 1 week into the game was a frenzy for sure, but, I mean, led to some insane entertainment, by the way. This was, incredible to
I could
watch for us.
imagine. I
Yeah.
was pissed off, but I could imagine.
Yeah, but thank you. That's all for our crucial segments with AT&T, crucial moments with AT&T. And just coming off of that, Eco, you already kind of alluded to it. Let's cool down a little bit. What would you say are some of the biggest hurdles that you guys have to overcome as a team before you get to Raleigh? And I think picking up power ups is kind of one thing just to start it.
Yeah, I mean, just focusing on what's actually important and just valuing things on the map other than like whatever that means. Like whether like
Mm,
the weapons on the map, like the shock rifle, like we've played in tournaments where like we've gotten owned because of the shock rifle, like because we just don't we're not even talking about it before the match, and then we lose, and then it's like, all right, we need to value that, or like whatever, like a mangler, whatever weapon it is, and then like, valuing like like power ups, like whether it be the overshield, the camo, and then basically what kind of what Zane said, um, just having a game plan, because if we don't, because like our team is like likes to play individual, kind of like the Halo 5-ish route where you can just
yeah,
kind of run around and just win a bunch of 1v1s, and if you're just winning every 1v1, like
you
You
win.
you win,
dominate.
yeah, yeah. But in
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, there are like I said earlier, I think like there's times where like that philosophy can work.
Mhm.
If you're like split spawning them or like
Sure.
etc. But then there's times where you need to play as standard as possible, hold hands, look at the same thing, and yeah. So I mean, just being on the same page and having a game plan. Because if we don't have a game plan, then we're not gonna lose. We're not gonna guarantee a loss because like so individually good where we can just
Right.
like pull it out of a hat and like get a win, but like that's not like a very optimal route to take.
Mm. Anything to add there, Zane?
uh,
Covered it pretty well.
yeah, I think he covered. I mean, I think he covered it pretty well, like straight up.
Now, I mean, going up against Optic was kind of the big bane for you guys the 2 weeks in a row. Is that like a team that's kind of on your radar as like, is there something that they're doing that's a little bit different? Are you even really worrying about, matchup versus matchup? Is it more just focused on yourselves, your own grind?
I mean, I'm not so worried about matchup versus matchup because like you have to go through everyone to win anyways. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't matter who you play. I think the thing that they were doing so well earlier on than everyone else was being so like hyper focused on like the micro, like literally just be like, okay, nades spawn here. Like I'm gonna take an extra 0.5 seconds, run to the left, grab these nades, run this way. Mangler spawns here. I'm gonna go run to the left, grab Mangler, and then go. And
Yeah.
that's something we weren't doing, especially off the start. We've been doing it more now, obviously, because everyone has to. Like you literally have to, or you will get just dominated. So like I think moving forward, it doesn't really matter who we play. We just need to be aware of all that stuff at all times. Never not be. It's like Halo 5. Like you run back, you grab the light rifle, then you push up
Right. The
because the
LR
light
is
rifle is
nuts
so
too.
good.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of Infinite is there's a bunch of weapons on the map that are actually really damn good once you get the hang of them and whatnot. So really good to hear though. And that's I think I feel like I've learned something from this, especially in the side of mindset, just kind of how you guys approach it, how you kind of overcome defeat and that whole vibe check idea. Like what are energy levels like going into to Raleigh, making sure you're on the same page. Because as long as you are, you can kind of come together and dominate. So great to hear all that. Before you guys go to Raleigh, Raleigh is the next step. You got any final thoughts before we close out today? You-
Final
Uh,
thoughts,
Final words.
like about the team, about competition, about anything.
Sure, about anything
Honestly, like
before we go
my
to
final
Raleigh.
thoughts are like I'm just really enjoying the game, man. Like
Yeah,
if you're watching this and you haven't tried it, it's free to play. Like honestly, Halo's an awesome game. It to me, it's kind of like the chess of console FPS, I guess. Like
nice.
so, I just love Halo. There's a lot of individual skill, but if you're not the greatest individual skill wise, like there's a lot that you can do just based on pure knowledge of the game.
Well said.
yeah,
You
I
go.
mean, I guess yeah, I don't really have anything to say. I mean, I guess it's not just console anymore, but I mean, yeah,
True.
I'm just looking forward to Raleigh. I mean, I love like it's new Halo. Like it's I mean that feel of new Halo is still there. It should stay there for it'll probably stay there for a while for me. Yeah, just gonna keep grinding and trying to improve as much as I can, whether that is like watching people streams, playing, like, cause if I'm not playing, like I'm literally sitting, like I'm eating,
Right.
in my chair, I'm watching like another pro player, like I'm just trying to,
Mm.
I'm watching your videos, like, you know what I mean? Like just
Good to
trying
hear.
to learn.
Gaining every little bit
I'm
of
flattered.
knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Just
It's a
try.
game of
Yeah.
inches. It's a game of inches at
Yeah.
the
It
top
is.
Yeah.
level.
Sure.
Because like a lot of these weapons aren't even overpowered. Like that's so I was talking about the
Yeah.
micro. It gives you the slightest edge that you need to just like win the battle against other top players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great to hear. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and that is it for the Nines. Big thank you to AT&T for putting this together, and all that's left is Raleigh. So I guess we'll see you there.
Oh, we will definitely see you there.